Hi, welcome to our webinar on monitoring your partner ecosystem with AI. My name is Yoav Raka. I'm a customer success specialist here at Anodot. I've been at Anodot for about 3.5 years, and during my time at Anodot, I've supported quite a few customers in the US with extensive partner networks, affiliate programs, and programmatic advertising. These customers range from smaller companies making 10 million revenue to enterprise customers making billions of revenue. So let's get started. To summarize, in this webinar, we'll be looking at solving the biggest challenges in monitoring your partners with machine learning anomaly detection. We'll cover some popular use cases, and towards the end, I'll go over the most frequently asked questions that I get, and hopefully those answers can help you minimize revenue loss within your business. So what exactly is a partner network? Digital partners today operate as an ecosystem. You see this most often in e-commerce, ad tech, and fintech. They work with lots of different companies to help facilitate their business. And in a lot of cases, they're very integral into the success of the business and the amount of revenue that they make. So let's talk a little bit about the digital business partner ecosystem. You have the supply side and you have the demand side. So your partners can fall in either of these spectrums. On the demand side, you can have affiliate programs. If you're an ad tech, you can have a demand side partner or an online marketplace, all looking to increase the demand for your business. On the supply side, you can have partners that can supply you with your actual product or a publisher that supplies you with ads themselves. Take a look at a customer that runs, one of our customers that runs a site for booking travel experiences. They actually have partners on both sides. On the supply side, they work with a variety of hotels who then supply them with hotel rooms to sell at a competitive rate. They also work with hundreds of travel agencies, travel influencers, and tour operators to generate demand for their businesses. So they work with many different partners across the board to both generate supply and demand. So what can go wrong within a partner ecosystem? So when something goes wrong, businesses can lose thousands of dollars in matters of hours and even minutes. And in some cases, they even make headlines. So one example of this is Google's Night of Yellow ad. If you remember this was a time where some individual publishers and exchanges lost more than $100,000 in advertising spend because Google was publishing a yellow box ad within a 45-minute span, and some other publishers even lost up to 5 figures. So not all glitches are as massive or as easy to spot as that. Most of them are actually slow and easily hidden. We call these slow leaks. They leach onto your revenue and can do just as much damage over time as the massive glitches that loses tons of money in 45 minutes. And from what we've seen, they happen more often than you can think. So let's talk a little bit about why it's hard to monitor revenue and cost metrics. And so most businesses now monitor partners using BI tools, or they manually check out dashboards. But the scale of partner networks are much higher than they've ever been before. You can have tens, hundreds, thousands of different partners, and it's impossible to keep pace with all of them. And it makes incident remediation much more difficult or even up to chance. So at Anodot, we developed a much smarter way and more efficient way to monitor your partner ecosystem. While you work, our machine learning algorithms monitor millions or even billions of events in real time, and they learn how each metric normally behaves and alerts you when things deviate from the norm. So instead of just talking about it, let's take a look at some examples. So here's an example of one partner that we have. So the story here is that there was an alert notified for a customer of a reduction in traffic from a specific partner on a specific device type. So what are we looking at here? There's a dark blue line here, and that's the actual data itself. And you can see that it spans over time. This x-axis is time. So over time, you can see every day it has a very normalized behavior, lower during the nights, higher during the days. What Anodot does is it generates this light blue sleeve. And you can see here, this light blue sleeve is our normal behavior learning. So over time, we can see we learn the day over day methods. We learn how this metric is supposed to behave across every single partner. So this is for one particular partner on one particular device type, which is mobile. So we can do this for every single one of your partners at scale. So when something goes wrong with an individual partner, and like for right here, you can see an alert gets sent out. You can see this orange line as it dips below that light blue sleeve. So we're able to not only detect very accurately across many different partners when something goes wrong, we can also detect it very quickly because we don't have to wait for it to reach some sort of threshold or say deviate 15% from a standard deviation. We're very accurate and we're very quick. So let's take a look at another example here. So this is a drop in supply from a particular partner. And what this particular metric is the number of ads served for a particular partner with a specific tag name. So what happened here? For this client, supply measures the different events that happen from a page that a user visits. A drop in supply usually means a removal from a site or a publisher. So how did Anodot help here? So an influx of alerts for sites of the same publisher was caused by a problem in the way they were implementing an add-on tag. Anodot was able to quickly monitor all the different partners that have that particular tag, and they were able to notify the publisher, resolve the issue very quickly. So they're able to work with a partner, improve their relationship, and also save money. All right, let's take a look at another example here. So in today's world, there's pretty low visibility when it comes to API performance. A lot of our customers use Anodot to monitor not only their internal APIs, but also external APIs that they may be using that may be on a cost per call basis. So take a look at this example, for instance, of API requests for a particular service. This customer was looking at the API request for a particular service, and you can see how it has kind of a complex behavior. There's 2 distinct spikes during the day. It reduces to almost 0 during the nighttime. So it runs on kind of a scheduled job. And Anodot is able to learn about that very, very accurately. So when, for instance, an abnormal amount of API requests come in for a particular service, an external service, and I'm going to zoom in here, you can see Anodot is able to detect that very accurately and very quickly. So let's look at one last example. Here's another use case from a hospitality-based company that experienced a spike in bookings. Normally, a spike in bookings would be a great thing for a company that sells hotel rooms. They'll be very happy to see that. However, in this particular case, a partner site was actually listing those hotel rooms at an inaccurate price. And that's what caused the spike of bookings. So while they increased the bookings, it negatively affected their bottom line. They were losing money with each transaction. So Anodot was actually able to reduce the time to detection and determine exactly which partner had the price glitch. Once the client knew that the control could fail or be disabled, they understood how it could happen again and were able to measure against it. So here's a quote from one of our customers. AppNexus is an ad tech company that works with many partners and uses Anodot to monitor things such as their bids, requests, and CTRs across their extensive partner network. And they said, our clients are very happy that we're giving more detailed service and are really being able to solve problems that used to either go undetected or take days to solve. Now they solve them in a matter of hours. So Anodot is able to actually help you with your return of investment. So we've, from an actual client that records their time to detection, they actually saw, you can see in 2007, they weren't implemented with Anodot. In 2018, after an implementation of Anodot, they were able to reduce the time detection by 71%. And they were able in 2019 to actually reduce it by another 75%. So Anodot has massively improved the time it takes to detect these incidents. So let's talk about what Anodot is and how we work. Our platform leverages AI to constantly monitor and correlate business performance, providing real-time alerts and forecasts. In addition to partner monitoring, we can also monitor revenue and cost-related incidents, as well as overall customer experience. So we take a lot of total events. You can see in this example, there's 36 billion events per day. We cut through the noise, find the business relevant alerts, aggregate them. So from those 36 billion events, after that is about 5.5 million events that actually come into the Anodot platform. From those per day, we can find 45 anomalies. We actually have a pretty sophisticated way to generate alerts to make sure that you're getting only business relevant alerts. So for those 45 anomalies, only 2.7 of them were interesting, and then 1.2 of them were high severity and came straight into a customer's inbox so they can do some remediation. We collect from a lot of different data sources, whether that be Google BigQuery, Google Analytics, Amazon Kinesis, AWS, S3, we can look from a lot of different data sources to bring them to Anodot without any engineering work on your end. So, come into here. So, and once the data is collected and we determine if there's an anomaly, we can send it anywhere into Slack, into Jira, PagerDuty, wherever your alert workflow is present. We will send the critical alerts over there, so you can act as quickly as possible. So, some key takeaways of what you should get out of this. Anodot is able to put your business first. We have deep 360 monitoring technology, and we're fully autonomous to help you detect incidents across your entire partner network with very minimal effort on your end. So here are some frequently asked questions that I get from customers. The top question that I usually get is, how does Anodot handle partners with varying ranges of overall impact to the business? And this question is present across all the different customers that I work with that use Anodot for partner monitoring. And the reason for that is that a lot of the partners that I work with follow the 80-20 rule. And that rule is saying that basically 80% of the revenue comes from 20% of the partners. So while they're monitoring those 20% very closely, they don't necessarily want to just throw away the other 80% because they still can have an impact to the overall revenue of the company. So Anodot is able to actually we have a pretty sophisticated alerting system that's built out that is able to filter out have very sensitive alert configurations for 20% of the partners that you have. So you can get alerts very quickly and and with smaller deviations. And then for the other 80%, we're able to actually separate those into a different alert that has much less sensitive. So while you're still getting alerts, you're not getting as many for smaller partners that may have a lower impact to your bottom line. So you're able to configure based off things like a significant score that we're able to generate, things like the delta that's coming out, and then from the baseline itself, and many other factors to really provide an accurate alert itself. Another top question that I get is, what if you have partners in different time zones? What about different data sources in different time zones? So Anodot is able to actually, because we learn the normal behavior of each partner individually, it doesn't matter if one is in Eastern time or Pacific time or in the Asia Pacific region, we're able to really to learn what the partner behavior is for each particular one. So if you have a partner that's operating in Berlin and a partner that's operating in Tokyo, we look at those individually and we learn their normal behaviors individually. So you don't have to worry about setting thresholds based on time of day or worrying about the time zone, because we automatically take that into account. In terms of data sources, we can do the same thing. We are able to account for different data sources and are able to account for when you should query them and things like that. So we're pretty comprehensive in that state. Thank you so much for attending our webinar. I hope I answered some of your questions and hopefully you learned a little bit along the way. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to visit our website at www.anodot.com. You can reach out to us there. Thank you so much. Bye.